All right, so here we go. James Deane, as you said, #1 qualifier. Dialed in there yesterday. Scored 97. And Sebastian Gautier, who we haven't seen in a little bit, is back, ready to throw down. But he gets dished out a tough battle here with James Deane, the machine, out to that touch and go. Now he's going to tighten it up to that front clip. Sebastian Gautier hanging tough there. Didn't fill all that outside zone, so you can see just barely dipping that back tire in as James Deane wide swing tightens it up, and Gautier. And leaving from the start, Sebastian Gautier, that retina burning yellow. Flicks it in the outside zone. Gautier, wow, look at James Deane right there in tow. Transitions into that touch and go. Gautier looking a lot more comfortable out front, but not shaking James Deane. James showing you why he is defending back-to-back champ. And into that final clip, just very dominant there from James Deane. You gotta assume they're gonna slide right for James Deane, and they do. It's unanimous. James the Machine Deane gets the victory. Join the conversation. Let everybody know you are out here or you're watching from the comfort of your own home or workplace. Here we go. James Deane initiates in. Matt Coffman right there, getting fired up. Right there on the side of the S15. Now transitioning into the touch and go. James Deane dialing it in. Matt Coffman can't be shaken. James Deane actually knocking over that Black Magic intense clip. Now out to that touch and go, flicks it in. Oh, Matt Coffman comes up a bit short as James Deane fills that touch and go and wraps around that final clip. Defending champion. But Coffman would love to play spoiler right now. That's exactly what he wants to do. Coffman initiates. Wow, look at James Deane get right to the side of that S13. Wow, just allows him to pass by, gets into that first front clip. Dialing in is Coffman. Now transition, let's see how the touch and go goes for Coffman and Deane. Coffman, a great lead run, and James Deane very comfortable riding shotgun there. And here we go. Slide him left for Coffman or right for James Deane. Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Ryan says one more time. Brian says James Deane, and Andy says one more time. They're going at it again, Ryan. In that last battle, he could definitely do it. James Deane, you know, is not completely invincible. Here we go. And I say that Coffman a little bit shallow on that first outside zone, transitioning out to that touch and go. Coffman coming in hot and heavy. Drops it right there next to that S15 of James Deane. Now coming into that touch and go, let's see how they transition both of them right there. We're on a 5-minute clock, but we do have another one, so here we go. Coffman will lead, and James Deane will give chase. This is the second half of this battle. Matt Coffman throwing it into that first outer zone, transitioning into that touch and go. Now approaching on the front clip, both wrapping around. Actually, just as I say that, James Deane, oh wow, look at that. James right there nipping on the heels of Coffman. Massive angle. Oh, and now
it happens again.
It happens again.
It happens again.
As from some of these calls that we've seen, it looks like they think a lot of these guys are pushing it out just a bit too far.
And there you go. James Deane unanimously gets the win. James Deane versus Michael Essa. Here we go. James Deane, again, coming in top 5. Oh, and Essa with an aggressive. He talks about that big long. He just, you know, when he throws it in, tries to get that nasty flick, but just grips up. He's got a lot of grip in that BMW, wrapping around that front clip. Now coming to the second outer zone. James Deane fills all of it with great angle. Now going to the touch and go. Both of them getting out there. Michael Essa hitting that back trunk once again as they go across the finish line. And now the lights are on and they're off. It's go time. Send it, fellas. Here we go. Essa out front. James Deane in chase position. Let's see how Essa initiates it way early, stays in that outside zone the entirety of it. Man, can't even see James Deane. He pokes out with that Wordhouse Falcon tire. Essa team cannot see James Deane at all. Look at that. And oh, more angle by Essa. Snaps it back into the touch and go. Throws James Deane off quite a bit. That was a very interesting approach there. So here we go. Michael Essa, James Deane, Ryan, Andy, and Brian slide them right for James Deane gets the victory. And here we go. It's the Wordhouse battle. Whose house? Word's house. Let's send it here for the first battle of the Final Four. James Deane, Peter Wiecek. You know, these guys are going to throw down for Brian, like you said. They would have put on a show. Here we go, St. Louis. James Deane initiates, filling all that outside zone. Transitioning now into that touch and go. Approaching that first front clip. Peter Wiecek nudges it with that front right headlight. Now into that second outer zone, throwing some more angle out is James Deane, dragging bumper in that touch and go. Oh, and Peter Wiecek pushes a little too hard. Peter Wiecek will now lead. James Deane will give chase. Again, James Deane, #1 qualifier. Peter Wiecek qualifying 4th. We saw an amazing battle between them and Seattle. Peter came out on top. Wow, nasty initiation there from Peter Wiecek, but James Deane mimic him like a red, white, and blue shadow. Now into that front clip. Both of them tight. James Deane actually punches it as Peter into that second outer zone. Oh, and James Deane rotates. It looks like Peter Wiecek will continue on. Ryan taking a look, slide him left for Peter Wiecek, right for James Deane, Ryan, Andy, and Brian. And James Deane gets the victory. James Deane advances on. 1, 2, 3. Here we go, James Deane throwing down Frederick Aasbo in chase. The lights are on. James Deane goes into the outside zone. Frederick Aasbo, a little bit shallower line, but look at that chase game. That's what he's talking about. Dialing that in Japan. And now, look at both of them going around that front clip. Frederick Aasbo knocking it over in that second outer zone. Now transition, oh, into the touch and go. Touch and go they do. Stay and go is more like it. And across the finish line. I'll send it. 1, 2, 3. Aasbo will now lead James Deane giving chase. Aasbo whipping it into the outer zone. Comes up a little bit short there, Ryan. James Deane has that proximity. Zeroing in and on in. Let's see how they do on that front clip. Both of them on it. Some separation here between Aasbo and Deane. And now into that final touch and go. Do we have a victor? Look at that. Bringing it across the finish line. Make some noise, St. Louis. One of the judges said one more time, and the other two said, James the Machine Deane gets the win in the Wordhouse Drift Team Falcon Tire Sylvia S15. And that means second place goes to the